Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Private businesses, I am asking them and suggesting to them go to vaccine-only admission.
Tonight, Governor Cuomo calling on private businesses to step up preventative measures against the Delta variant of the coronavirus. He suggests that businesses like restaurants and sports stadiums require proof of vaccination prior to entry. Cuomo is also urging school districts to either require vaccinations or weekly testing for teachers. The governor argues it is in the best interest of businesses to require vaccinations for patrons.
You know, if I go to a bar and I want to have a drink and I want to talk to the person next to me, I want to know that that person is vaccinated. If I go to a restaurant and I'm sitting at a table and the table right next to me, I want to know that they're vaccinated.
Governor Cuomo promoted the Excelsior Pass for New Yorkers to upload their vaccine information on their phone. You can learn more about that app on the state's COVID-19 website. We're learning new details tonight about a crash that killed 2 people on Saturday. It happened during a military benefit motorcycle ride on Route 14. As Big Fox's Matt Kleindens found out, the captain of the Millport Fire Department was one of the 2 killed in the crash.
Good evening, Ann. The accident happened during a military benefit motorcycle ride along Route 14 in Pine Valley near the Dandy Sunoco gas station. That accident resulted in the death of local fire captain Josh Mansfield. On Saturday, New York State Police were called to the Dandy Sunoco gas station in Pine Valley for a motorcycle accident. The accident occurred around 10:15 when a motorcycle driven by Josh Mansfield collided with a car. Mansfield and the passenger of his motorcycle were riding in the 14th annual troop ride in Horseheads to benefit the United Service Organization in Fort Drum. Both Mansfield and his passenger were killed in the accident. Josh Mansfield was a captain of the Millport Fire Department. According to the fire department's Facebook page, Mansfield had served with the fire department for over 10 years, with 2 of them being a captain. A makeshift memorial was placed at the scene of the accident in honor of Captain Josh Mansfield. The crash is still under investigation. Matt Kleindens, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
As mask mandates make a return, federal health officials say they're not looking to impose lockdowns, but more restrictions could be taking place. Griff Jenkins has more from the White House.
The new COVID surge is intensifying. We're averaging more than 72,000 new cases every day, a 44% increase from last week and the highest number since February. Mask mandates are now back in a handful of states, with more expected to follow this week. Federal health officials say they're not looking to impose 2020-style lockdowns, but President Biden admits it's possible more restrictions could be coming as the Delta variant spreads quickly.
This is really a different virus than last year, and everything we learned about COVID a year ago, you got to sort of hit the reset button.
The feds also hinting at a vaccine mandate before walking that suggestion back, with some health officials arguing it's the best way to contain the outbreak.
We're looking into those policies, and quite honestly, as people are doing that locally, those are individual local decisions as well.
And on Monday, the Education Department released new guidance on school reopenings. The Return to School Roadmap advises schools follow the, quote, layered mitigation strategies recommended by the CDC, including 3 feet of social distancing in classrooms and face masks for students and teachers. But that won't be an easy sell. In a handful of states have already passed laws prohibiting schools from mandating masks.
This ought to be up to the parents whether the children wear a mask when they go to school. That's a parent decision.
Administration officials travel across the country in the next few weeks to help schools prepare for reopening in the fall. At the White House, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Florida is now the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic. The state is now averaging 15,000 new cases a day. And with schools starting, the state government and some local entities are debating mask mandates. Rosa Flores reports.
The Ascarty family.
Swish.
And the Milacrino family.
Nice. We like it.
Both have children attending Broward County Public Schools in South Florida. One family is for mask mandates in schools.
I think masks are the best course of action and I think that keeps everyone safe.
The other is for masks being optional.
Mandating it doesn't seem fair or right. I think best case scenario, parents should definitely be given an option. I respect everybody's opinion and choices.
It's a debate that erupted into protests here this past week as the number of COVID-19 cases in Florida jumped to more than 110,000, and the positivity rate among children and teens between the ages of 12 and 19 surpassed 22%.
Did you not get the CDC's memo? I don't see you guys complying.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who has long spoken out against mask mandates, Friday signed an executive order giving parents the choice between masks and no masks. The move big-footed Broward County Public Schools' recent decision to require masks in classrooms, leaving families with mixed emotions.
As a dad, what's that like for the governor to come in and override your school board?
Party of small government, right? It's really disheartening.
What was your reaction to that?
Relief, and simply for my children and their well-being.
The debate in Florida playing out across the country. The three largest school districts, New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago, will require masks. Others reversing course and will now require masks too, including Gwinnett County, Georgia, and Baltimore County. The debate landing in Texas as well, another state where the governor banned mask mandates.
Kids will not be forced by government or by schools to wear a mask in school.
School boards there holding meetings, and a major teacher group asking the governor to reconsider his executive order.
What we're fearful is that we are going to be in classrooms where we are going to have that student that does get too sick, that does die, and it's all could have been prevented.
Mom is a superstar. And I'm like terrible.
After spending time with these two Broward County families, one thing became clear.
I think we absolutely have something in common. We want what's best for our children.
Absolutely. We're all united in that way.
Above all, they love their children.
After weeks of negotiating, a group of bipartisan senators say they have an infrastructure bill ready to move forward. But for progressives, it's only the beginning. Lauren Blanchard has the latest from Washington.
This bill shows that Republicans and Democrats can work together to address the needs of this country.
The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act unveiled on Sunday in the Senate. It's 2,700 pages long with $1 trillion in spending laid out over 8 years. In it, $110 billion for roads and bridges, $39 billion for public transit, and $66 billion for railways, $55 billion to improve water pipes, and $65 billion for broadband internet, plus billions to improve the energy grid, modernize airports, install electric vehicle charging stations, and combat pollution.
The American people are speaking loud and clear. They want their infrastructure repaired. Let's rebuild America.
Not all are on board with the massive price tag. About half of the bill is new federal spending. The Senate leader says a final vote could happen in days, but first, there will be amendments offered.
Right now, I'm a no. But I would love to see some type of amendments that can get me to be able to support this infrastructure bill.
Democrats say if the infrastructure bill passes, they'll move forward with a $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill with left-leaning priorities. Progressives have warned the reconciliation bill is a must for them to support the infrastructure bill.
We need a reconciliation bill if this bipartisan bill is going to if we want this bipartisan bill to pass.
They want to have all of their cake. They don't just want a slice of cake.
The $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill isn't expected until later this year. It would not need any Republican support to pass. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Simone Biles will try to win one more medal in Tokyo this week. Meanwhile, another Olympic athlete says she is seeking asylum after being treated unfairly by team officials. Benjamin Hall has more.
A diplomatic standoff at the Tokyo Olympics. An Olympic sprinter from Belarus defects and gets a humanitarian visa from Poland, where she plans to seek asylum. Kristina Semutskaya accuses team officials of trying to send her home from the Games after she criticised them on social media. The 24-year-old sought protection from Japanese police at the airport so she wouldn't have to board the flight back to Belarus.
I was put under pressure and they are trying to forcibly take me out of the country without my consent.
The sprinter accused team officials on Instagram of unfair treatment after they entered her into this Thursday's 4x400 relay event without prior notice. She says government supporters started targeting her online and she feared for her life.
A person can be jailed, tortured, beaten. There are no laws in the country, so they can do anything to you.
The International Olympic Committee says it's ensuring the sprinter's safety and has reached out to Belarus for clarification.
The most important thing at the moment is our duty of care to her. We've assured ourselves that she had a safe place to stay last night and was under protection.
Meanwhile, Team USA will get one of its top gymnasts back this week. Simone Biles will compete in Tuesday's balance beam final after previously withdrawing from the all-around competition and 3 other event finals to care for her mental well-being. Biles won bronze on the beam at the Rio Olympics and is 3 times world champion on the event. In London, Benjamin Hall, Fox News.
Still ahead tonight, health officials are saying if you're pregnant, get protected.
The Delta variant is not something that we can play with.
More on the recent spike in cases and the potential risk of severe complications if those who are expecting get infected by COVID-19.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. We are ending just an absolutely gorgeous day, and so it's been a great start to our week. We're going to do it again tomorrow, so as you're waking up, making your morning coffee, it is going to be chilly, starting off with readings in the 40s. We gradually warm up into the 50s, so 58 degrees at 8 o'clock. There will be some patchy fog, so that might affect your morning commute. As we head through the rest of the day, as high pressure will be anchored right over the Twin Tiers, we are expecting plenty of sunshine, and the winds will start to calm down as well. Rain chances will be to our north as also to our south, but in our area we're going to stay with plenty of sunshine, and we're going to see that sunshine return for a couple of days. Our dew points right now 51 degrees, so it is in the comfortable category. So what the temperatures are is what it feels like, and so it's not going to be too bad. In fact, it's going to be another great day tomorrow as well as Wednesday, but it looks like the moisture content will start to creep up a little bit by the end of the week out ahead of our next storm system. So we'll be back into the 60s on Thursday. But if you're working out for tomorrow, it's going to be just an absolutely gorgeous day to do that. Perfect day to be working out outside. Readings around 59 degrees as we start off the day, and then 72 by 10 o'clock. By 3 o'clock, only around 79 degrees, and then dropping down to around 74 with a mostly sunny sky. So very quiet weather tomorrow, but here comes our next storm system. The jet stream will start to dig down to the south, allowing for another system to come through, and so rain chances will start to increase for late Friday into your Saturday. But before then, quiet weather. Tonight may be a little bit chilly. 48 degrees in Corning as well as in Elmira, 49 degrees in Perkinsville, around 51 degrees in Watkins Glen. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, quiet day as well. Highs around 78 degrees in Corning as well as in Elmira, 80 degrees in Watkins Glen, and 76 degrees in Perkinsville as well as in Bath. Here's a look at your extended forecast, and what a gorgeous forecast we have for you. 80 degrees on Wednesday and then 82 on Thursday. Remembering with a little bit more moisture means that our clouds will also increase as well. 84 degrees on Friday, and then chances of rain Saturday and Sunday, and it looks like closer to normal temperatures as we head into early next week. Our average high is around 84 degrees, so we're going to be below normal for the next couple of days, and then we'll be closer to normal by the end of the week. That's a look at your forecast. Stay tuned. We have more coming up.
Two leading organizations who represent OBGYNs are now calling for anyone who's pregnant to get vaccinated, citing the recent increase in cases and the potential risk of severe complications if those who are expecting get infected by COVID-19. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
If you're pregnant, get protected. That's the joint message from the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists and the Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine.
The Delta variant is not something that we can play with.
The leading health organizations say COVID-19 vaccines are safe during pregnancy, and their recommendation is based on evidence from thousands of people who have gotten the vaccine while pregnant, saying that being protected from COVID-19 outweighs any potential risk.
What we do know is that pregnant women, although the risk is not high, are at higher risk for severe disease in pregnancy if affected by COVID. So they go to the hospital more, they undergo mechanical ventilation or have to be on a ventilator to breathe, and unfortunately die at a higher rate. So it is very important.
In a study released in June, the CDC says vaccination rates among those pregnant were increasing, but the numbers were still low compared to non-pregnant women in the same age group. While the CDC doesn't directly recommend the vaccine for those who are expecting, the agency says anyone who's pregnant can receive it. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A Providence man who rushed inside a burning building in an effort to save a family said he only wanted to do the right thing. Tyler Dumont reports.
It's straight engulfed. Everyone's screaming on the street.
Joseph Beaver says he was out for a motorcycle ride Friday night when something in the distant sky caught his attention.
Just normal riding down the street, and I seen a billow and a smoke.
He raced toward it, finding a growing fire in the upper part of an apartment building on Simmons Street. Beaver says that's when he learned a family was still inside on the first floor.
I felt that we had enough of time to at least notify the people, and that's what we did.
As flames raged above him, Beaver says he went in anyway, finding a group of adults still trying to collect belongings. He encouraged them to get out, overcoming a language barrier.
And he said, second floor, second floor. I said, second floor is ready to come down here and burn you. He understood, and he just yelled at his family and told them, let's go.
I don't know what happened.
Soram Kayam lives on the first floor and says she was struggling to get her elderly husband out when Beaver came in.
Yeah, he helped me too.
What would you like to say to him?
I say thank you for helping me and help my family. Yeah, thank you very much.
My wife always tells me to do the right thing. If you can help somebody, help them. And you could be around people you don't even understand the language they're speaking, but you have no problem with them and they understand very well that you're just trying to help them.
In Vermont, the Jewish community are protesting Ben & Jerry's after the company says it will stop selling its ice cream in the occupied Palestine territory, the West Bank, and Jerusalem. Melissa Cooney explains why this is bringing the protesters out.
Vermont's very own Ben & Jerry's has created controversy in the community over an already deep-rooted conflict between Israel and Palestine.
They have made a decision, wrongfully so, to step into building walls, creating more hatred, creating more anger, throwing fuel to the fire.
Members of the Jewish communities of Vermont gathered in front of the Ben & Jerry's factory to peacefully rally against their decision. The group is calling upon the ice cream company to use its power for peace, not division.
They want Ben & Jerry's to work with us or without us to support groups working constructively for peace in the Middle East. And if that means rescinding their decision, that would certainly be appreciated, because we think boycotts and the perception that it's tied to the BDS movement just pushes people further away.
Rallygoers argue Ben & Jerry's could instead be using its resources to invest in positive, productive initiatives.
If Ben & Jerry's want to take a stand, which they should, I think everyone should, it's putting all the efforts and all the things that are working and make them work even more. So, yeah, to kind of give rise to an amazing project of youth together, amazing project of scientists together.
Counter-protesters there shared a different perspective.
Because I'm a Palestinian, my kids are half Palestinian, half Americans. So we're here to show that we like that move. We like what they did for supporting Palestine.
Ben & Jerry's realize that it shouldn't be sold, their ice cream shouldn't be sold. It makes absolute sense.
Regardless of differing opinions, the Jewish Communities of Vermont says it's thankful to Ben & Jerry's for giving the group permission to use the factory as the rally grounds. But protesters will continue to hold them accountable in a way only Vermonters can.
We're calling out on them on what they've decided to do, and we're taking them elsewhere, on the right path, on the path that ought to be. Peace, love, harmony, coexistence, chunky monkey for all, as I said.
The company's co-founders Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield, who no longer own the ice cream franchise, have also publicly stated that they agree with the choice.
Zoom has agreed to pay an $85 million settlement in a lawsuit over data privacy and Zoom bombing. The video conferencing service, which became essential during the pandemic at one point, was plagued by hackers. Customers complained that their private meetings were being interrupted by people shouting profanity or sharing pornography. In response to the lawsuit, Zoom Video Communications says it is improving security and improving safeguards for user data. A father and son duo have completed a 200-mile journey down the Chesapeake Bay. The 14-day adventure was to raise money for families in need of financial support due to COVID-19. Anthony Sabella was there as they were winding down.
Hurley Meyer and his 13-year-old son Andreas pulled into Cape Charles for a night of rest Thursday. One final leg remaining of a 2-week kayaking journey down the Chesapeake Bay that started just outside Elkton, Maryland.
Roughly 15 to 20 miles every day.
Each paddle in support of families hurt by the COVID-19 pandemic, still struggling to get by financially.
For us, it was really important to be able to give back, to make sure that we're able to support through a cause.
The cause? The Adventist Development and Relief Agency's COVID-19 Hunger Pandemic Response Campaign. Money the Meyers raised, part of $3 million headed to families in need. But raising money might have been the easy part. This 200-mile journey, no leisurely float down the Chesapeake, where battling weather and currents is just one part of the struggle.
I would say some of the other challenges is, things like staying hydrated, making sure that you have enough fluids. Also, at every stop, we have to fight the mosquitoes.
But at the end of the day, these two have each other.
We always, I think, struggle as parents or as fathers to find time with our kids. And so for me personally, I really wanted to use this opportunity to spend time together, to have fun together, and to challenge ourselves a little bit.
Making memories while making a difference for those who just need a little help.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. You don't need to stay within the lines when coloring your life, but things look a bit better when you do in your artwork on National Coloring Book Day. Coloring books have long been a favorite of children everywhere, even though you're never too old to take a box of crayons to pre-printed images of Winnie the Pooh or Transformers. Coloring books geared towards adults have enjoyed a surge in popularity lately. Nowadays, you have tons of options from a slew of coloring books that are sold everywhere. And when you're engaging in the simple pleasure of coloring, you can give yourself permission to go outside the lines. And for the record, my favorite color was always purple. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.